He's waiting around for Jon Jones for a whole year, over a year. Career on hold. Despite the fact that he told everyone, look, this guy ain't going to fight me. He's going to retire before he'll fight me. So you might as well just give me the title now. But unfortunately, the UFC, they wanted to believe that their GOAT was the man that they bigged him up to be. And they were wrong. And after working his whole life to become UFC heavyweight champion, this was the way it was announced.
Jon Jones called us last night and retired. Jon Jones is officially retired. Tom Aspinall is the heavyweight champion of the UFC.
All right, Dana, calm down. Don't get too excited. And that was in the middle of the night in some random-ass UFC press conference. No ceremony, no celebration, no congratulations, Tom. We've got the best young fighter in the world. It was as if no one gave a fuck from the UFC. It was so bad. And I get Dana was pissed because he'd been made to look a fool by Jon Jones. But that was never Tom Aspinall's fault. Tom just wanted to fight the best guy he possibly could. And you'd think MMA fans would love that. There's a fighter who's trying to fight the best, wants to win the title, wants to defend the title and be an active heavyweight champion, something we've not had in God knows how long in the UFC. But no, because Jon Jones weirdly has a lot of fans who want to see him protected and not get his chin smashed to bits, they supported the guy who ran away from the fight and trashed Tom consistently. What?
Tom Aspinall has finally had enough of Jon Jones and has broken his silence. For weeks, the heavyweight division has been buried under constant noise. Critics yelling, fans arguing, journalists fueling the chaos. And through it all, Jon Jones has been the loudest voice, taking shots at a man who never disrespected him once. A man who showed nothing but respect. A man who waited over a year for a fight that Jon Jones walked away from without a second thought. But now that Tom Aspinall has been injured, forced out of the cage due to an eye injury, doctors have described as dangerous, debilitating, and potentially career-ending, now Jon Jones suddenly finds his courage. Now he calls him weak. Now he mocks him. And the MMA world has watched it all explode like a firestorm, waiting for something no one had seen before. Tom Aspinall finally snapping. Because the truth is, this didn't start with an eye poke. It didn't begin with Cyril Gann's fingers digging into Tom's eye socket. It didn't even start at UFC 304, when Tom stood before the crowd with blurred vision and a pounding head, wondering if his career had just vanished. This started the moment Jon Jones realized Tom Aspinall existed, the moment a new heavyweight arrived with freakish speed, terrifying power, and a calm confidence that rattled Jon without him ever admitting it. It began when Jon watched Aspinall knock out everyone in front of him and felt deep down that the future had arrived far too quickly. And instead of facing it like a champion, Jon disappeared, dodging interviews, avoiding questions, ducking fights, hiding behind every excuse imaginable, while Tom Aspinall stayed active, stayed loyal, stayed ready. Jon Jones stayed silent. Then when Jon finally resurfaced, he did what he always does, twisted the narrative, rewrote the truth, and attacked the one man who tried to carry the division in his absence. Tom Aspinall absorbed every insult, every accusation, every smug comment about quitting, about lacking heart. He heard Jon laugh at his injury. He heard fans repeat the disrespect. He watched people question his courage. The same fighter who has taken short-notice fights, stepped in as a backup, begged for challenges when others ran, and never backed out of a fight in his career. Tom Aspinall has been one of the UFC's most loyal warriors, yet somehow became the target of one of the laziest smear campaigns the sport has seen in years. But everything changed the moment Tom shared his medical update. The moment he revealed the injury wasn't minor, but severe, that one eye was no longer tracking with the other, that neurological symptoms had appeared, that his vision was unstable, and that specialists warned this damage could follow him for life. Suddenly, the quitter accusations collapsed. Suddenly, the truth caught up and the narrative fell apart. Jon Jones looked like a man mocking a fighter who was fighting to save his career. And when Tom Aspinall realized that people were still calling him weak even after the truth came out, something inside him snapped. The mask came off. Tom Aspinall finally fired back, not with cheap insults or childish jokes, but with anger, honesty, and the voice of a man who had been holding everything inside for far too long. He said he was sick of people questioning his heart, sick of people who had never stepped inside the cage telling him what he should have done while half blind, sick of fighters who weren't there that night pretending they would have fought through nerve damage and neurological impairment, sick of Jon Jones pretending to be the king of the division while refusing to face the one man who could expose him. For the first time in his career, Tom Aspinall didn't hold back. He said what fans had been thinking all along, that Jon Jones had a full year to fight him and vanished, that Jon only talks when he knows he won't have to back it up, that he's brave behind a phone but silent at the negotiation table, and that he waited until Tom was injured to get loud because that was the safest Jon Jones has ever felt. The irony was brutal. Jon Jones calling another fighter weak after ducking the biggest heavyweight fight in UFC history. Jon Jones mocking someone else's injury when much of his own career has been derailed by his body breaking down. Jon Jones saying Tom should have fought through the damage when he's fought no one in the division except a single safe matchup that lasted 2 minutes. Jon Jones playing the alpha while avoiding the only redditor he couldn't control. But Tom Aspinall was done staying quiet, and when he finally spoke, he didn't sound broken. He sounded like a man pushed to the edge and ready to come back swinging. He said he was tired of carrying the weight of the division while being disrespected by men who hadn't earned the right to speak his name. Tired of pretending everything was fine while sitting through weeks of insults, lies and narratives built by people who weren't even in the arena when his vision went dark. Tired of being treated like a stepping stone when the truth was that he was the man keeping the UFC heavyweight division alive. And the most frightening part was what he said next. This was only the beginning. When he comes back, he's coming back with different energy, a different mindset, a different fire. The polite aura is gone. The humble giant has turned into someone else. A fighter with nothing left to prove and nothing left to protect. A fighter no longer chasing respect, a fighter ready to destroy anyone who ever doubted him. Starting with Jon Jones. Tom Aspinall's silence had been mistaken for softness. His respect was misread as weakness. His calmness was confused for fear. But when he finally unleashed everything he'd held in for nearly 2 years, the MMA world immediately understood this wasn't the polite heavyweight they were used to. This was a man pushed past his breaking point. A man who decided that if everyone was going to paint him as the villain, then he might as well speak like one. And the moment that energy hit the timeline, Jon Jones went from laughing to scrambling. Because Tom didn't just respond, he exposed the hypocrisy. He reminded the world that Jon had 12 full months to fight him and never answered a single call-out, while Tom stepped in as a backup, saved cards, and kept the division moving. Jon disappeared into silence and stalled negotiations. Tom took risks, fought contenders, stayed active, and defended the division, while Jon did interviews and bragged about being champion without fighting a single modern heavyweight. Then Tom said the line that detonated across social media like a nuclear blast. If Jon Jones really thought I quit, he would have accepted the fight. And it was true. If Jon thought Tom was weak, he would have taken the fight immediately. If he believed Tom was easy work, he wouldn't have vanished every time the matchup was offered. If he truly believed Tom lacked heart, he wouldn't have waited until Tom was half blind and concussed to throw insults from behind a microphone. Overnight, the MMA narrative flipped. The same people who mocked Tom suddenly had nothing to say, especially after medical scans and specialist reports confirmed vision instability, nerve disruption, and long-term eye complications. Fighters, coaches, and analysts began calling out the absurdity of mocking a man for stepping away from a fight he physically could not see. And Tom wasn't finished. He addressed Dana White, and that shook the UFC even harder. He spoke about how his injury was casually dismissed, framed as quitting, despite years of loyalty, short notice fights, backup roles, and carrying the division during Jon's absence. He reminded everyone that when Jon abandons events or derails super fights, he's praised, but when Tom suffers a legitimate, dangerous injury, he's treated like an inconvenience. For the first time, Tom Aspinall said what many heavyweights had whispered for years. There is a double standard, and fans loved it. Tom stopped being just the polite contender. He became the voice of the heavyweight division, the man speaking for every fighter who'd ever been doubted or discarded. And Jon Jones' response? Silence. The same silence that followed the contract. The same silence after every collapse. Because Jon knows Tom Aspinall isn't the nice guy anymore. And when his vision stabilizes, when the doctors clear him, the version of Tom Aspinall returning to the octagon will be something the heavyweight division has never seen before. The nice guy is gone, and the moment he steps back inside, the world will remember exactly when he stopped being one.
Like Curtis Blaze came to beat Tom Aspinall up that night. Tom throws a kick and magically gets hurt. I would expect a fighter to at least attempt to stand back up or at least limp. And with Tom, he was just completely out of the fight. And his last situation was Cyril Gane. He gets poked in the eye. Normally you see fighters that are doing this number, trying to get the doctor to look at it. And actually, initially the doctor's just like, he seems fine. Tom's like, no, I can't.
I can't see.
The guy wasn't trying to see.
Yeah.
The guy didn't want want to see. The eye that he was covering appeared to be the eye that actually didn't get penetrated. One eye, finger goes all the way underneath the eyelid. The other eye, it was on top of the eyelid. And he ends up grabbing the eye where the finger was on top of the eyelid. I don't even think Tom really knew which eye was supposed to be more compromised. He just knew that he had been fouled and it was his way out. So that alone shows me a little bit what's behind the facade of this whole Tom Aspinall character.